Whether you're packing a cooler or trying to fix your makeup in the bathroom, Disney's got a different way of handling things, and you might want to plan ahead for it. Hey everybody, it's AJ for Disney Food Blog. Ever wonder why all those guidebooks tell you not to go to the right in Disney World, or why you have to park so far away from Magic Kingdom? We're explaining some of the weird things in Disney World that are going to affect your planning, along with a few other bizarre things that could only happen in Disney World. So let's get started. Why does everyone go to the right? Well, one of the most popular tips in guidebooks and here at DFB is to go to the left when you're getting in line for security or deciding which direction to tour the parks. But why is that? Well, most people are going to the right. There's a bit of psychology behind this one. There have been several studies to discover if there is a lateral bias when people choose to go to the right, something that has been observed in places like museums, grocery stores, and at Disney World. Right-handed people subconsciously prefer to go to the right, and that is a big factor on why traffic patterns are the way they are. There are more right-handed people making the decision to go right, and it's become the norm. You can pretty much always look to the left for shorter lines because of that bias. But there are also a few design-based reasons you'll want to go to the left at Disney World. When it comes to security lines at the parks, with the exception of Animal Kingdom, most guests are going to be arriving on the right side of the entrance. In Hollywood Studios, buses, Skyliner, and the boat drop you off at the same security lines, but you may not have even noticed there's an entire other side of security lines that are pretty much only used by those people who drove themselves. That means a lot fewer people and way shorter lines. At Magic Kingdom, the monorail is the only thing letting off guests to the left of the entrance, and there are a lot more people arriving by bus and ferry, so keep walking to the left and you may find shorter lines. And once you get inside the Magic Kingdom, consider heading to the left first. Most people will go to the right to head towards Space Mountain or Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, but if you head left towards Adventureland, especially the first thing in the morning, you might make it through half the park before the crowds really start to build. If you stay aware of that directional bias, people have to go right and walk just a little bit further, you can save some time spent in line. Now, why can't you park at the Magic Kingdom? Well, one of the biggest headaches if you've driven your own car is parking to go to Magic Kingdom. The parking lot is actually located about a mile away from the Magic Kingdom's gates across Seven Seas Lagoon, and you'll need to park there at the Transportation and Tickets Center to access the monorail or ferry boat in order to make your way to the park. The same is true if you're taking a ride share like Lyft or Uber to Magic Kingdom. They won't be able to drop you right at the gates. However, if you take Disney's official rideshare, the minivan, which is run through Lyft, you'll get dropped right at the bus stop, which is actually right outside the gates of the park. So why? Well, Disneyland was a crash course in a lot of what not to do when opening a theme park, and one of Walt's biggest disappointments was how much the real world had moved in on his park. Disney World was kind of a do-over to get that right. That's why Disney World was built in the middle of a swamp with nothing around it, but it's also why the Transportation and Ticket Center is so far away from the park. Walt really wanted people to leave the world behind when they came to Magic Kingdom, which is why you have to go on a journey to get there. In 2017, Disney moved security checkpoints away from the entrance of the park back to the Transportation and Ticket Center or resorts so that you're going through security before you get on the monorail or ferry to journey into the park. This helped to further reduce bottlenecks and traffic congestion at the park itself, which overall creates a better experience for guests arriving to the Magic Kingdom and also helps to separate more of the real world from the parks. Bag check lines are not very magical. So be sure to leave yourself some extra time to get over to the park if you're driving to the Magic Kingdom, usually an extra half hour at least. And if you're visiting on super busy days, be ready for a long wait for the ferry or monorail at the end of the night. Now, why can't we wear costumes? Well, adults are allowed to wear costumes during certain special events, like Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party or Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. But on a regular park day, costumes are only for those 14 and under. Even then, costumes may not drag on the ground, have any pointy bits, or contain weapons, and capes cannot go past the waist for anyone over 14. The idea is to keep adults from being mistaken as actual characters. If someone shows up dressed as Cinderella, kids may think that's the real Cinderella when it's really just another guest who doesn't act like Cinderella because she's not the real deal. You gotta go to Princess Fairy Tale Hall or Cinderella's Royal Table to meet the real Cindy in Magic Kingdom. And that could seriously detract from that kid's vacation if they think they're getting an autograph from their favorite princess. Now, if you're going to Galaxy's Edge and want to channel your inner Jedi, there's a bit of leeway, though you're basically limited to Disney bounding, which is representing your favorite character without necessarily wearing a full-on costume. No stormtrooper suits or Chewie costumes. Sorry, guys. Next up, why is there no nighttime parade? Okay, well, Disney World used to have nighttime parades in Magic Kingdom. Main Street Electrical Parade ran for 3 different periods of time, from its first run starting in 1977 to its final run from 2010 to 2016. The parade has also gone to Disneyland and Disneyland Paris for a few runs. Spectrum Magic replaced the Electrical Parade from 1991 to 1999, and then again from 2001 to 2010. Spectrum Magic has been permanently retired with most of the floats destroyed, but the future of the Electrical Parade remains uncertain. It had its last run in Disneyland in 2019 and is currently stored there. Disney World does continue to show the electric water pageant nightly on Seven Seas Lagoon just outside Magic Kingdom. This light-up water show has been running since the park opened. Now, there also used to be a nighttime parade in Epcot, the Tapestry of Nations, which ran for a couple of years right around the millennium turning. Disneyland had the Paint the Night parade for several years, and there used to be daytime parades in both Animal Kingdom and Hollywood Studios. Parades used to be a common occurrence at the Disney parks, but now Magic Kingdom and Disneyland each only have a single daytime parade, and all other parades have disappeared unless you're going to a special event. So why is that? Well, parades take a lot of people, and that costs a lot of money. There's also a lot of design and tech that goes into a parade. Often floats are reused from parade to parade. That's harder to do with nighttime parades because the lights and design vary a lot more than daytime floats. Think Paint the Night versus Electrical Parade. Very different styles, and the light technology doesn't mesh well together. It takes a lot of people to put on a parade each day as well. There's everyone in the parade and then everyone behind the scenes, all for about a 20 to 30 minute period of entertainment. Also, the employees involved in the parade have a higher pay rate as they're union and equity actor positions. Technicians who maintain and operate the floats can make $30 or more an hour, while most of the performers receive some kind of premium as Disney pays a higher rate for dancing and performing in a parade. Whereas a fireworks show can be designed and performed by a small group of people with changes that can be made quickly and easily. Projections on the castle can swap out instantly. And there's a lot less maintenance upkeep with a fireworks show. You don't need to worry about storing all the floats and costumes and props. There's also a safety concern with parades. It shuts down parts of the park for hours with guests staking out spots well in advance. And unlike a fireworks show, the parade is moving, and if guests don't follow cast member directions and cross at a designated safe location, an accident could happen. Move that parade to nighttime when the lights are turned out for better viewing, and the risk of an accident increases. Disney's moved away from parades to much shorter and less intrusive street parties or just more mini shows that don't require people to line up or prepare hours in advance and only contain a few floats that stay in one location for an extended period of time before moving along. Now, Disney has never officially stated why they've stopped creating so many parades, but as you can see, there are some pretty logical reasons to explain it, from financials to risk factors. So why is there no loose ice allowed? On May 1st, 2019, Disney imposed some new rules for the parks, one of which had people scratching their heads a bit more than others. No smoking and limited stroller sizes made sense, health and safety, but no loose ice? How are you supposed to fill a cooler when the Disney hotels only have ice machines and a fridge that won't help freeze an ice pack? It's all to help streamline the bag check process. Disney states in order to improve guest flow, ease congestion, and streamline the bag check and entry processes, loose and dry ice is not permitted. Security needs to check every bag, including coolers, before they come in the park, and sifting through ice was slowing things up. A few more tips to get through the bag check line: unzip everything, pull stuff out from the bottom of strollers before you get to the security table, keep things in clear bags, keep it organized, and don't overstuff your bags. Security needs to check every single bag you bring into the parks, even bags inside bags. So these tips, along with ditching that ice, helps them to do that faster, which means lines don't get held up and everyone gets into the park that much faster. All right, I love this question. Why don't Disney World bathrooms have mirrors? Well, it's hot. You need to check your makeup or your hair. You just got destroyed on Splash Mountain. You have to make sure you still look decent for your PhotoPass photograph. So why isn't there a mirror above the sink where it's supposed to be? Disney World does have bathroom mirrors, but they're usually located right by the entrance to the bathroom, and there's usually just one, which can kind of make it a pain if there's a line blocking it. So why is that? There are a few reasons. First up, less vandalism. Bathrooms aren't monitored with cameras like the rest of the park, so it makes them an easy target for vandalism, unfortunately. And mirrors seem to be a top target. Take out the mirrors, you take away the concern. It also helps the flow of traffic. They're located by the door to keep you from lingering too long. The line blocking the mirror encourages you to quickly check and keep moving. You won't have to wait to use the sink until someone fixing their makeup gets out of the way, because if there's a mirror, people will linger a bit longer, which can cause a backup in the bathroom. One larger mirror by the exit door has become the norm at both Disney and Universal theme parks. And former Imagineers have even said that older bathrooms have been retrofitted to this new style. All right, next question that needs some explaining. Why are people lined up for a popcorn bucket? Well, some people are just crazy about Disney merch. Make that a limited edition item and people are sure to line up to make sure that they get one. Popcorn buckets are a top collectible. They're useful too. You can get refills for just $2 if you purchase one. You can only get them in the parks. They're never available on Shop Disney, so you can't buy it after vacation, making it pretty much the only thing you need to buy on your trip. Notable buckets that have caused crazy lines include that annual pass holder Steamboat Willie bucket over in Disneyland. All of them sold out on release day, and it was brought back a second time and eventually debuted in Disney World and with slightly less insane lines. But Disney's using classic marketing there of supply and demand. You make something less available and people want it more. The green alien bucket that debuted for the opening of Toy Story Land created hours-long lines and was sold out by the afternoon. This one has also been brought back a few more times and even had a holiday version in Buffalo plaid this past year. Last year, the Mickey Christmas tree bucket was sold out for days. The holiday buckets will always have limited availability and a limited time frame to get them, so they nearly always sell out. Oftentimes, buckets may debut in Disneyland first, so if you're a collector based on the East Coast, keep an eye out for any must-have buckets in Disneyland because they may make their way to Disney World. Super popular buckets often get re-released, but it happens really sporadically and you can't be too sure when it will happen. Since they're limited edition, the buckets may have a purchase limit on them, meaning you can only buy one or two to cut down on the resale market. Now, not all popcorn buckets will sell out fast, but if Disney announces it ahead of time and says there's limited quantity, you should plan to arrive early and be ready to wait in line for a while. Next question, why are there no balloons in Animal Kingdom? All right, you won't find balloons in the park and you can't bring them to Animal Kingdom or Animal Kingdom Lodge either. It's all for the safety of the animals at the park and resort. Balloons can end up in animal enclosures and cause some serious harm. Animal Kingdom and Animal Kingdom Lodge have also had paper straws well before it was the norm across Disney World, all in an effort to reduce plastics that could hurt the animals if they ended up in the wrong place. Plan ahead if you use a balloon to make finding your stroller a bit easier because you'll need to make other plans on your Animal Kingdom day. Instead, make a sign or tie a ribbon to distinguish it from the sea of other strollers. And if you really want to get your kid a balloon, make sure you do it on a different day. All right, I hope those have been helpful to answer some of your questions. It was certainly fun to research this to answer some of our questions here with the DFB team. Thanks for listening, you guys, and thanks for watching. As always, this is AJ for Disney Food Blog, and we'll see you real soon.